I look like an American breakdancer. See if anyone gets on it. I'm looking very Boy George today. Where'd you go? The Arndale?
Yeah.
It's piping out. Hello, Mr. FYM. Hello, DJ. There you go, bro. There's your gig back. It's not mine, it's me brother's. Hey, mate. It's the father's birthday today, you know, so yeah, all bets are off today. You know how warm it is in Manchester. It's like, I'd say it's about 32 degrees. No way. Well, keep that one to yourself, DJ, yeah. Yeah, today's the dad's birthday, but it's like it's our uncle's anniversary as well, so it's bittersweet in a way. Is there many in town?
Rams. Should see now.
Piccadilly. Is the garden still locked up?
Locked up, man.
Yeah, bro, we get on with it, don't we? You know what I mean? It's in our DNA. We move forward, you know? It's the only way. It's forward. You can't go backwards. You can. The Irish, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the weigh-in Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. It's meant to be lovely on Saturday. I'm going up to Liverpool Saturday. Get dressed up and what have you. England are playing as well, you know, and Connor's fighting on the same night. I've got a dance competition to go to on a Sunday, you know. Yeah, but bro, it's looking very neo, you know, like. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. It looks rock and roll. I'm going to go with Connor. Who are you going for, Mark?
I have to go with Conor, bro.
Have you got a round? It'd be nice for him to stop Max in the first round, like, because Mac knocked out Justin Gaethje, who's now the lightweight division champion. So, like I said, I never thought Conor McGregor would come back. Not like this. Not humble and sober and noble and God-fearing. Once you have God on your side, it doesn't matter who gets in the ring with you. I think, yeah, I'm going to wait till Saturday and get my hair chopped.
What date is it, bro? The 9th, yeah?
Yeah, today's the 9th.
Fucking guy, man, fucking me about. Pass, cheers, slide that, bro, up, please, bro. Sorry, bro. Oh, good lord. Oh, you're absolutely rampacked. Rampacked.
Check.
I'm not bad. Our friends tonight.
Yeah, against Morocco.
Judy, again, tough, a very tough game.
The amount of hash that'll be getting smoked tonight in Morocco.
Fuck, you being irrelevant, mate.
What?
You being irrelevant.
Fucking right, I would. But the only thing is, I've seen what they make it from. Like, they throw tires and that shit and all. You know, to make it, like, wow.
Oh, fucking
You reckon Morocco can give France a go?
100%, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if Morocco won, but if he shows up at Mbappe, then you know, for me personally, he's one of the best fucking. He's unbelievable. But
Yeah.
France are they're very fast.
Yeah. I reckon it's either going to be in England or Spain is going to win the World Cup.
Thinking about let me be, bro. What you reckon?
Yeah. What, like fucking
Like literally, like you,
4 lines?
like what?
Like Fessel?
No, no. Fucking
What you
rubbish.
doing? Hey, bro, what am I doing? Ask me what am I doing?
Hiding your bed, aren't you?
I'm hiding me beard, yeah.
Ah, mate, this is too much
You know,
even for me.
proper halal, proper 10-10. Okay.
Catch on his nails then for tomorrow.
Oh, fuck, hello.
I'm waiting for my man to do this for me, bro. I'm gonna have to wait in all fucking day now for this guy.
8 o'clock, I think. Mark, what time does it kick off tonight? Is it 10 or 8?
I think it's 8.
Yeah, so I'll be walking. I'll be walking the Moroccan tonight, yeah. I think France will win 2-0 maybe. You never know. Like I said, I've really enjoyed this World Cup. You know, it's going to be interesting seeing Haaland against England. You know,
10th of August.
that'll be a game, that, bro. It's 9, is it? Okay.
By the what? In the week beginning 10th of August, providing them for you are.
Yeah, bro. You look like a breakdancer with that kit on.
The next summer year will begin 12th of October. Boom.
I think
Yeah.
it's proper breakdance
And
look,
to
isn't it?
please apply for student finance at the beginning of September. Boom. Gets in there, you cunt.
Oh, fuck that heat, mate. No. Fuck that. Oh no. You can stay out here in your home. Fuck's sake, man. Bags over here, do you like them? 10 or 20 for the little fella. His uncle bought them for him. You what?
Why rum? Fizzy pot. They're bad, them, bro.
Yeah, I like them. They love them even.
Fucking bad and delighted with them,
Me too. Tom will love them. Lisa will be delighted with them. I'm watching this thing, bro, right? And it's called Navigating Treacherous Afghan Skies, and it's all about the evacuation that took place from Kandahar, honestly. Like, how desperate you have to be.
What do you think, Daddy?
Climbing on the wing of a B-53, you know, going down the runway at like 160 mile an hour, next of all you go up. You know, your elevation goes up, your thrusters, all that, blow them off the wing, right? Imagine how afraid you have to be to try escape on a plane with no belongings, just your name.
When you finally get to
Yeah, there was 5,000 soldiers. There was 5,000 people per one soldier. Do you understand? There was one of the biggest evacuations ever. See her, she's a judge in the Supreme Court in Kandahar. So when the Taliban got to Kandahar, a lot of these, like, look at the base, that's the base, yeah? And the airport, right? It's a classified location. You won't find it on any map in any way.
From the moment the airfield collapsed, there was no air traffic control. And we were concerned about the possibility of the aircraft impacting each other. There have been flights that have turned back.
Right, I just wanted to show you
People
that.
coming back sodden in sweat.
Like, they took a picture of the
How
airfield.
mitigate this situation?
Right, come on then.
I was the most experienced person. And the only way that I can make sure that it's going to land is to do it myself.
Right. People were on the wing of that plane and they were falling off when it was lifting up, look.
Flying into Afghanistan, you are always aware of the threat that's against you. All of us were shot at some point. In 2006, we lost a Nimrod aircraft in Afghanistan. 14 service personnel, the largest loss of life since the Falklands War. It is a major trauma to both you and your friends.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Luke. I'm grand, me, bro. Sound, yeah? Feel better than I did this morning.
So all these really high,
You know, I went out with my sister for a bit and yeah, me and the boys had a chat, like.
It's called the Kabul Bowl, and you've got to navigate
Like,
your way into this bowl.
we lose as a team and we win as a team, and my team is my family. And when someone dies, we all lose. Not just me, all of us.
That kind of give the range rings from your aircraft. And on that radar screen, you should be able to see the other aircraft that are in and around you.
Wow.
As we got closer and closer, more and more aircraft started appearing.
Them red dots represent an aircraft. Look, all in the one airspace at the same time. B-53 is landing like about 200 feet away from each other.
We're all going to arrive at the same point at the same time. This is dangerous.
Yeah. Look at they're all aircraft.
So I got onto the radio. It's an American West Coast guy, and he's got a very like surfer type accent.
Hey, can you imagine climbing on the wing of a plane? You know, being that afraid, because once the Taliban land, everything's under Sharia law. And if you've helped the American government or the Brits, you're collateral damage. They're going to come and kill you. They're going to cut your head off in front of everybody. You know, because you've fucking put loads of Taliban away. You know. The only chance you have is the undercarriage. Hold on to them fucking wheels, mate, and when the undercarriage goes up, but you freeze to death. But here, I watched a programme where two fellas snuck on an airline in South Africa and to come to the UK. One of them fell just before he was over the airport when the landing gear come down. One of them was frozen and fell asleep. Right, the air pressure somehow, don't ask me, but helped this guy, and anyway, he fell asleep, he was knocked out. Luke, I appreciate it, thanks brother. And guys, if you're not sub to Luke, can you give him a sub, him there in the chat? Trench air in there, thanks very much.
So we sequence these planes in, we all lined up, and we effectively landed a couple of minutes stream, and all landed on the ground. And then there's always like a massive sense of relief when you land, like the feeling that, like, okay, that was okay. Right, what's next? Right, we've got to get people now.
Wow. Yeah. How do you process people when there's that volume of people running at you? Do you understand? Look, thousands of them, desperate, trying to escape, trying to get their kids away. Nah, listen, they'll grow. The Taliban are getting closer. Look at. Taliban whipping people, look, trying to get them back.
So the Taliban were trying to pressure us. It seemed to be that they would dictate the flow of the crowd, and almost like waves pushing people through would push pressure on us, and then we knew that we were vulnerable, and they would push the people.
Imagine that, look.
The sheer amount of people coming through were slowly crushing each other. He couldn't extract people at the front quick enough. And you saw a humanitarian tragedy unfolding in almost like slow motion. Absolute chaos. People in front of the cue ball, they don't want to be there. They want to get back, but they can't get back because of the people behind pushing. You know, numerous.
Wow.
Crushed to death, kids crushed to death.
Wow.
And they stood there helpless.
There was like a gap in the cue ball, and I don't know how, to be honest, and I slipped into the gap, and then I got pulled into the crowd. At the beginning, I thought I'll be able to fight my way back and punch back out. But I started going down and down, getting crushed. I just remember being very wet and horrible and stunk. The ball, they were trying like, Mitch, get back, and I was like, I'm trying. But then after a bit, I couldn't really speak, so like, that's high. And I couldn't breathe, and I was starting to flap. I think
Wow.
what they were going to do is take my weapons off and use it on my own gloves. Any lower, I'd gone on the floor and then I'd have been getting trampled on. And then I could just hear like dink, dink, dink. And then they started like moving off me, and then I could like see the light again. A like old Smith pulled me out by my collar and then pulled me back into the sheer wall.
You're very lucky, lad.
What did you think when you felt your mate pulling you out?
Thank God for that. I just said, nice one for that. But yeah, we're close call.
Saved his life. That's what you call a near miss. Apaches, look. All them people looking up in the air, look. People crushed to death.
The situation's getting out of control. These are big, tough soldiers. Not just soldiers at Paris, they're high levels.
And imagine that kit on you as well, right? In 50-degree heat. You're carrying up to 100. You're carrying a stupid amount of weight in that heat, you know. And apparently it takes its toll on the soldiers, you know.
We all cry. Yeah, it was very
That's the ugly side of war, you know.
There's one story of a lady died, and there was 5 little girls with her around her body.
Wow.
And the oldest one would have been probably 10 or 11. And then while we were talking, I looked down, and the oldest girl, she had her arm had been chopped off. She had no hand.
Wow.
And of course, you're talking to these girls who are petrified. Behind you are the Taliban standing there. And they're like, we can't go back that way because the Taliban are there. And this is our mom, she's died, and we want to go to America.
Wow.
Okay, fine. What do we do with the body? What do we do with these girls?
Wow. Couldn't do nothing.
We tried all sorts of things during the day. But there was no humanitarian organizations there. And there was no one there to deal with children.
Fucking sad that.
In the end, I managed to get hold of someone from UNICEF, and there was a way that we could potentially take these 5 girls into the airport to be looked after. And by the time we went back to them,
They were gone.
they'd disappeared into the crowd. And they'd left their mom behind. You just have no idea what happened to them. I was gutted.
That's hard. That'd be a hard call, that. He's a chaplain. He's not even allowed to carry a weapon, you know. It's the only role in the military you can't have a weapon. Chaplain. Look at. You want to see the fucking runway when it got overrun? Like, there was just too much of a volume of people running forward, you know what I mean? And, you know, the bow was well and truly broke. The dams are well and truly fucking gone.
Everybody was going through these huge emotions.
True call, she's a squadron leader, and she brought about 300 people with her. You're putting your team in harm's way, you know what I mean? Anyway, if you're anywhere near that area, you're fucking in trouble. Thanks for coming in, Luke, and shout out to you, bro. I appreciate the love and the support.
To a bigger terminal. And one of the movement staff says, well, I need you to come down to the gate. And at this gate were a large group of incredibly well educated women, most of them probably in their 20s, and all of them were single. They had each received a letter from the Taliban basically saying, we know who you are, we know that you're single and we're coming to get you. But they haven't got permission to come to the UK. They do not meet our criteria to be housed. They were begging for their lives, so they were asking me how as a woman I could do that to them. Was I not human? Did I not understand? And the answer was, of course I understood. Of course I got it. But I couldn't help them. I still couldn't help them. There was more than one occasion when I'd just go and sit and cry.
And that's a squadron leader saying it upset her. She's not to show emotion. She's not allowed. She's bound by duty.
Passengers that they wanted me to hit would increase. We were on a time limit.
What time am I on? So need to.
On the runway, I could see huge numbers of people. It was that moment I realised the scale of the problem that was facing us.
Imagine that.
I've spent 20 years in the military. I stand here in Kabul. It's 2021. And this is the single most sad and depressing damnation of humanity.
The British military were trying to evacuate 1,000 people a day. Like, you have to process people and you have to look at the documents and make sure that they qualified or eligible.
People could we get out safely with humanity? There was very little knowledge about how many people you could get on board any of these aircraft. for the C-17, the C-17's a colossal plane. The number that I got given from home was around 230. That's madness. Like, that's nowhere near what we could get on. Those numbers will mean we will fail. So I sat down with
Thanks for popping in, Ron.
and said, right, folks, how do we get more? But there's only so much risk that we can accept. I came up with some logic, and that arrived at a number of 432. And they were the numbers that we put forward. I got this email back saying, I concur, go make it so.
Fair play to them, because you were only supposed to take 230 people, and he's like, listen, I can put another 200 people on this board. Do you understand?
Up to about 15,000.
So.
But we still didn't really know how many people were coming.
Oh, the Taliban, look at those bodies in that war. That's the Barton Hotel. At the side here is the crowd, and then you have a runway to the left. You know, about 6 o'clock, a few clicks to the left.
The canal is a waterway with concrete banks about 10 foot high on either side. The water was stagnant, horrible, dirty water inside. But some people noticed they could also get in via the canal as well. So we had to try and control that situation. We put barbed wire on the outside of the canal. We put barbed wire in the canal to prevent them going in. The thought was we could look over the other side of the canal, like paperwork, passports.
You see that little gap in the, see that?
If we saw what we wanted, we'd send him across the bridge.
See all the crowd on top of it, look, them.
This bridge wasn't more than 2 meters wide. We formed a shield wall at one side, and I was on the shield holding back at least 1,000 people trying to push through. And people were getting crushed up against the shield. And we didn't know whether we could hold the bridge.
Wow.
It's horrible.
Have you ever been deployed before?
No, that was the first time deployed in a real operation. Mum was in tears when I was leaving. I think she was more worried than I was on it. We just said we'll do what we can to stay in touch. Don't know if there's going to be any way that we can, but when we get a chance, I'll let you know that I'm all right. If not, I'll let you know when I'm back.
We had no choice but to escape.
Oh, bless him.
We packed all
Hello,
our
Miss
stuff in
Eternal
and left
Gale.
all our things that we didn't need it. Our weight of bags needed to be 9 kg. I put my e-bag, a bunch of cars, and some of the toys I needed, and then we went to the airport.
You're allowed to keep one car, like, that's nuts, isn't it?
I received an email. You're being evacuated to the United Kingdom. One of my friends told me to use that column.
Like, imagine stuck there with your family, you know what I mean? And there's only one way.
Just holding people back. There was people behind me holding me in place. And then suddenly,
Bang.
one of the Afghan people fell into the sewers. He had a passport, so they pulled him out and put him through. And people all saw that, and they saw, oh, well, if I fall into the sewers, they'll pull me out, thinking that they'd get a shortcut through.
Wow. The
And
odds
before you
start
know it,
jumping in.
everyone jumped. That sewer was just worse than sardines. People on, like, almost on top of each other. I wouldn't have jumped in. It was probably the worst thing I've ever started in my life.
Look, throwing people over the wall, look, into the canal. Like, that's fucked.
There were people inside the water and my dad was shouting and I was on his shoulders.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you remember seeing soldiers there?
Yeah.
What were they doing?
They were blocking people from getting in.
Did you know why?
Oh. That's the sad face of war, that. You know, there's good people everywhere. Everyone's got an arsehole. You know, people deserve the right to freedom. You know, like that could be easily your family, you know, in a different situation.
People would do anything they could to try and get an advantage over each other.
Look, they fucked them back over.
The worst part was when we had to push babies back. Because we were warned about people kidnapping babies. So if they see that you're giving babies the opportunity to sit up on the wall, then people will just start stealing babies and using that as an excuse to get to the front. It was harsh, but unfortunately it's what we had to do to keep them from trying to one-up each other.
Wow. Smart.
آگاهی و خودم فکر میکنم که هر کسی که دیر میشه بتونه اولاد خودم که ببره با خود. من نتونم دیر میشم حداقل اولادم دیر میشه.
Like, how desperate you have to be to give your kid away to somebody on the wall just to see, just to get them out of the country, you know.
British Army was smoking on a fence. I was showing my paper, and Her Majesty town was on the top. And I think maybe he saw that. He called me, checked the documents, and when he find that I was the British Army interpreter, then he just get my hand and told me come. He was like an angel. I never forget his face. I know his name is Adam.
Do you remember this family? Yeah,
He's a sergeant, like, you know, he's turned away because he knows, like I said, you know, he's not supposed to show any emotion, you know. It's unprofessional, especially in the military, you know.
We went to an airport and went inside the airplane.
But when you're a father and you see families getting on the plane holding the little kid's hand, man, that shit'd upset you. You know, and look at all the people you cannot take. You can't take everybody. Like 232 people one of them planes can only carry, yeah? But my man put 432 on the plane. Fair play to him. He put an extra 200 bodies on that.
We got a warning
that some intel had come in that they had spotted a potential suicide bomber.
Well, this is textbook, opportunity for a suicide IED.
Look out for the person dressed in white clothing and a black backpack. And then I saw him.
Fuck yeah. Hey, hopes. 2 clicks to the right, bro.
Every single day, the number of passengers that they wanted me to evacuate would increase. I'd be like, I can't do this. I can't physically keep doing this.
The canal outside.
The canal, look down to see how full it is.
With Afghan nationals. They were all cramming in to try to show you their paperwork. The time gap was obviously shrinking. They know we'd have to leave. Each day they'd get more desperate.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, intelligence came in, potential IED,
And he's seen him.
suicide bomb.
Boom.
But there are so many people in the canal.
Then it happened. Boom. IED. They left that hangar as well. You know what I mean? It's the biggest airlift since World War II.
How are you feeling about sharing this part of the story?
Yeah, all right, but I'm like a wee bit nervous with what some of the stuff that's going to come out. And speaking about it, I don't want to be the one to start bubbling.
How does it compare to all your other experiences of war?
Oh, completely different. Yeah, completely different.
It was a humanitarian issue and nobody got involved because
people, but it's harder. Physically, mentally, it's definitely harder.
I bet you there's so far the British military has evacuated 12,938 people from Kabul, but it's still unknown how many eligible people need to get out. Like, you know, people that collaborated with the English or the Americans, it's like the death sentence. You know, look at that. Look how desperate you have to be. Look. Thousands.
We're still processing people who are entitled to come to the UK. But there were so many people dead, thinking that they were going to be evacuated. Some of them only there for days outside in the heat, no water, and there's kids ranging from newborn kids to whatever, all in the crowd, being crushed. My kids are 5 and 3, so yeah, some of them are sort of similar age.
You know what I mean? Imagine seeing babies in there.
And then intelligence came in. It's going to be a suicide bomber. We had a description.
Some of them white.
You might still wear about 30% of the crowd.
Like 30% of the crowd are wearing white. You've got intelligence that some of them white has an IED or a suicide vest.
I was just thinking we're going to be lucky if we get out of here without it being a bomb.
It was my first time going into anything like this. I was definitely, apprehensive. I originally wanted to be a beautician or be a chef.
I know, this is what I'm saying. They don't understand that the sacrifices people that have gone before them have made, like it's been forged in blood, constitutions. Wars have been settled in blood.
Another one. And I used to be like, oh my God, that'll be me one day. But I don't think I ever thought I would be in an environment like that. It was like World War Z. Just a sea of people. And the smell of feces and urine. Overwhelming.
Like, can you imagine that?
An exact timing of when this IED was supposed to go off. It was 2:30 that afternoon. Everyone was packed in like sardines.
No way.
There was no place where there would not be mass casualties.
So I was on top of the roof, and I remember I had like a bird's eye view from the top, and I was looking out for a person dressed in a white clothing
With a black backpack. Boof.
And then I saw him from a distance. He had a rucksack on one shoulder, and he's on the phone about 50 meters away. What got my attention is because everyone's desperate to get in. Everyone's desperate to come to the crowd. I'm just like getting into the crowd, and he's the only one standing on it by himself from a distance. He's not even trying to come close or get in. And then he was gone. Just disappeared.
Wow. On the other side of the airport, medics from British military are treating civilians crushed in the crowd. Wow.
I remember being told that there was a bomb threat. We were making our weapons ready inside the medical facility. We were quite scared at that point. When it came to traumas, there was broken bones, crush injuries, head injuries.
Right guys, I'm gonna end me live, but I'll be back on later on, yeah? Thanks for coming in, and I appreciate you all, yeah? One love.
Babies.